Okay, hi, this is John Gabriel, author and creator of the Gabriel Method, a diet-free approach to sustained weight loss. And as many of you know, back in 2004, I lost over 200 pounds, and I basically dedicated my life to teaching the theory, art, and practice of permanent, sustainable weight loss. And I'm really pleased today to be joined by Mourad Nadir, who is a young man who, at the age of 16, he struggled with weight most of his life, and I'll let him tell the story, but it's a cool story. At the age of 16, he lost about 140 pounds over a 6-month period. He's now 22, 23. He looks amazing. He's passionate also about the concept of permanent weight loss and sharing his story and his message with the world. So I asked him to come on and share his story. So Morad, it's great to
Hi,
have you.
John.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome,
Appreciate it.
awesome accomplishment. So tell me about what happened, how it all came together.
Well, I can start with how long I struggled with the weight gain,
Yeah,
and that was basically since the age of 5 or the age of 6.
yeah,
Um, since then, I gradually started gaining the weight. I was living back then in Morocco, in Casablanca, and I was living basically in a stressful environment. I was eating a lot of unhealthy food, the vitalized foods. So, and at the same time, I was looking for potential solutions. Like I went to different nutritionists, different doctors, to just find a way to lose the weight. And the more I try to find a way, the traditional way, the more I just kept gaining and gaining.
So did you find that you go on a diet, maybe lose weight for a little while, and then you'd go off the diet and gain it back? Is that the kind of thing you were experiencing?
Right. I was experiencing that, and also with exercise. I was forcing myself to exercise at
Yeah.
certain periods of time, and I was doing a lot of diets that would, restrict a lot of foods. And what would happen is that I would lose about 5 or 4 pounds, and then I would binge, and then I would gain about, 20
I
pounds
know that
more.
story so well. I know that story so well.
Yeah.
So fast forward up to when you're 16 and uh, how much were you weighing back then?
When I was 16, I weighed about 283 pounds.
Wow.
So that's the equivalent of 120 kilos, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. Yeah, that's really hard. Yeah, that's heartbreaking. And so what changed for you?
Well, um, at that time, I was really, I got to a point where I was so frustrated. Like, I came here to the US in 2008, and I tried seeing nutritionists, and it's the same approach that I encountered overseas in Morocco. It's calories in, calories out, cut out certain foods. So what changed for me is that I was just looking online for potential solutions to just maybe see something different. And your method stood out to me, and I decided to give it a shot. Even though at first I didn't buy the whole you don't have to diet or exercise thing,
Yeah.
but I decided to give it a shot, and it yielded great results.
So what changes did you make after you read the book or followed the program? What changes did you make, and at what point did you start to see the results?
Oh, well, the first thing that I did is that I ordered the book and I received the MP3 for the meditation, for the night meditation.
Yeah.
While I was reading the book, because my English at the time, I was still learning English. So I was reading the book slowly, and I decided to just start listening to the meditation at night to see if it yields certain results. And surprisingly, I think I did it. I listened to it for about 3 or 4 days, and I started to feel a shift
Yeah.
in my attitude, in my relationship with food, and my relationship with other people. I started to be more of myself, and it sort of pushed me towards being more confident, moving more, not feeling embarrassed to be myself, exercise, play my favorite sports. And I think after a month or so of doing the meditation, the visualization, I found that my cravings have changed. Even my taste buds have
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
So I was drinking more water. I was eating more foods that have vitality in them, like fruits, vegetables, and they didn't taste gross.
Yeah.
So
That's perfect.
that's
That's
yes.
textbook. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. And then, so at what point did you start seeing the results then? I guess pretty quickly.
Well, I started doing this back in November 2010,
Yeah.
and I think by December or January, the weight loss like it just started, and it started so fast. I was losing about 20 pounds a month,
Wow.
and at that time, I didn't join a gym in the beginning or anything, but after a month or so of doing the practice, I found myself just inclined to go join a gym. So I did that.
Yeah.
And it just boosted the whole thing. And every month I would come from the gym or I would weigh myself, and my family members, my friends, would just be looking at me like, what's happening to you? Are you sick? What's going on?
Yeah, that's very similar to what happened with me. Was I didn't do much exercise in the beginning. I just started eating healthier foods and doing the meditations and visualizations, and then once the weight started coming off, I just had so much energy, and I thought, how far can I go with this? And that's when I started, biking and doing all these things. But it came from like a inspired place, not a forced place. Is that kind of what you experienced?
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. The energy that came to me to go exercise was voluntary. I didn't feel forced to go to the gym. Sometimes it's even snowing and I have so much energy. I feel like I just want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And it just felt great to go. It wasn't much of a burden. I didn't feel like there's something to pay or a price to pay.
Yeah.
It was just an enjoyment.
Yeah.
And it still is.
That's awesome. So that was back when you were 16. Now, as you know, typically when somebody loses that type of weight, especially that quickly, it's almost unheard of, really, what you did, 140 pounds in 6 months. But you hear about it like in shows like The Biggest Loser, where they starve themselves and whip themselves. They got a trainer going, come on, you can do it, blah, 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 blah. And then the show ends and they check back a year later and it's like, the volleyball underwater. It just pops right back up. They're right back at the same weight. So this is now 4, 5, 6 years. 6 years later. Did you experience that rebound, or like did you have that situation that people always find when they force themselves to lose weight?
Not at all, actually, because what happened with me is that, like I told you, my cravings have changed.
Yeah.
So now when I eat foods, I am more inclined towards eating healthy. It's not, I don't have that type of relationship with food that I had back in the day.
Right.
And also, I mean, at the time when the weight loss have stopped, because it had to stop at a certain moment.
Well, yeah.
I was.
I mean, you're in perfect shape now, so it better stop.
Yeah. I came to 145 pounds. Now, 6 years later, I think I'm at 155. So it's about a 10-pound. Yeah, it's about a 10-pound gain, but I even got taller from then to now.
No,
so.
Probably more muscular too, because you were going to the gym. You probably
definitely
gained 10 pounds of muscle, I'm sure. And what's your life like now? Do you struggle to keep the weight off? Do you struggle to fight cravings? What's happening in your life now, 6 years later?
Not at all. It's right now. I don't restrict myself to. I don't try to have restrictions on any type of foods. Like if I'm outside with my friends and I'd like to get a cheesesteak in Philly or something, I'd go for it. And I'd also add something that I like a fruit salad to it. Or I would add, some water. I would drink definitely water. That's something I drink throughout the day now because
that's really
I just
important.
feel like,
more and more studies show that one of the reasons we put on weight is we're chronically dehydrated. And we're always looking for something else other than the water. And if you just load yourself up with water, it's one of the best things you can do. Because even though you're going to have a cheesesteak every now and then, you're not craving it all the time. And when you eat it, maybe you have a bite or two and you're satiated. It's a different experience. Do you agree with that?
That definitely resonates with me because I remember in the beginning when I started reading the book and I saw a couple of videos that you posted on your website about the importance of drinking water before eating. And that's just a habit that I adopted while I was doing the meditation and everything. I would still drink water before my meals, and I would drink it after dinner throughout at night. And right now, I just feel like when it comes to my cravings and the way I eat, I just feel like I naturally go to the thing that tastes more alive. Yeah. Like even my food choices, people around me, like my friends and my family, they just look at me and they say, well, that's weird. Why are you drinking chia seeds with water? Why are you eating goat cheese?
Yeah. Cool. Well, Mourad, you're a tremendous success and you do what doctors say can't be done and what I've learned is when a doctor says something can't be done, what they're really saying is they don't know how to do it. They don't have the tools. They're not doing it right. And unfortunately, the old calories in, calories out, just eat less paradigm, it doesn't address the issues. You were able to address the issues. You're able to do what they say can't be done. Like so many of others that we've worked with. What advice do you have for people that are just starting out on this journey and want to get to where you are?
Um, One advice. Well, I mean, one of the things that pushed me towards finding your method and looking into my health at the time was that I was frustrated.
Yeah.
And with that frustration, there came an intention that's just incredible. Like, I wanted this so bad. I wanted it to happen because there were a lot of health consequences. My cholesterol levels at the time were at a level that was dangerous to me, and I was at a risk of developing type 2 diabetes, and I was having a lot of health issues. I had an inhaler at the time. I had a lot of health issues, and I was frustrated, and that fueled the intention to look for something that would help me. So for anyone that's looking to lose weight, and not just lose weight, become healthier and eventually become happier, because the body does affect the mind, I would say there has to be an intention. There has to be a pure intention to actually implement the things that are advised in your method, and be willing to be open to things that might not sound traditional, because that's sometimes a challenge.
And you know what? It's a call for that, because they say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Right.
So sometimes you have to do things that don't sound traditional, like getting your sleep fixed, or drinking more water, or reducing stress through meditation and using visualizations. These are untraditional methods, but that's what it calls for sometimes. And and you're a living example of that, and I just think it's fabulous.
Right. So I would say my advice would consist of two parts. The first is to have the intention to be willing to embark on a journey. The second is to just be open to things that might not sound traditional to you, and give them a chance, because you might surprise yourself.
Awesome.
And surprise people around you.
Awesome. Well, Mourad, you're doing fabulous, and I'm really happy you're sharing your story with the world. And I wish you tremendous success in your fitness and your health and your life and your journey. So you're a true inspiration. Thanks so much.
Very much.
Cool. And thanks everyone for joining us. If you'd like to learn more about the evening visualization that Mourad listened to, or the Gabriel Method in general, you can visit thegabrielmethod.com, where we have free downloads of the evening visualization and information about how you can get one-on-one coaching if you want, or just learn as much as you can about how to create a situation for yourself where your body wants to be thin, wants to be fit. It's permanent, it's sustainable, it's not an effort. That's what we're trying to achieve here, and Mourad's a living example of that. So thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Thanks.
Awesome, Mourad.